Hello, and welcome to another edition of FYI. I'm Nick Levinson. In today's programme we'll be discussing the movie The Shawshank Redemption with our studio guests Michael McVicker and Charles Webster. But first, let's have a look at the film.
Taking bets today, Red?
Smoke's a coin. Better's choice.
Smoke. Put me down for 2.
All right, who's your horse?
That little sack of shit. 8. 8 from the front. He'll be first.
Oh, bullshit. I'll take that action.
Yeah, me too.
You're out some smoke, son. Let me tell you.
Well, Haywood, you're so smart, you call it.
I'll take the chubby fat ass there, the 5th one from the front. Put me down for quarter deck.
I must admit I didn't think much of Andy first time I laid eyes on him. Looked like a stiff breeze would blow him over. That was my first impression of the man.
What do you say, Red?
A tall drink of water with a silver spoon up his ass.
That guy? Never happened.
10 cigarettes.
That's a rich bet.
All right, who's gonna prove me wrong? Haywood? Jigger? Skeets? Floyd? 4 brave souls.
Return to your cell blocks for evening count. All prisoners return to your cell blocks.
Great stuff. With us in the studio today is film critique Michael McVicker and amateur producer Charles Webster to discuss the film's success. So Michael, tell us why you think the movie was such a big hit, although it didn't do so well when it was released in the cinemas.
I think it was a big hit because it was a great movie. It was one of the classic movies, of course. Might have been down to poor advertising. It could have been many other things, I don't know, but like the lack of big name stars. But eventually people found out it was a great movie and they bought it.
What do you think, Charles?
Yeah, I agree, but like it takes time for people to find out it's a good movie through word of mouth. And like by the time like most people found out about it, it was out at the cinemas and already out in video. So it was successful in video because of that, and that's a cult movie.
So do you think now, in the days of DVD rentals and pay-per-view movies, that it could be the end of big blockbuster films at the cinema?
I think, well, I don't think it's the end of blockbuster movies because seeing a movie in such a big screen is like, can't beat it. But maybe.
And the sweeties.
Aye, of course. Yeah. Over expensive sweeties. Yeah, but you know, I don't know.
What do you think, Charles?
I think like DVD is really the next well. It's going to be bigger than it ever was because we've got like HD TVs and all that, so that it's the same quality as you get in the cinema, and you can do what you want in your house, can't you? So you can like.
Yeah, totally. Obviously, you're an amateur producer. Can you think of any other small films that have made a big name for themselves, like The Shawshank Redemption?
Probably the Blair Witch Project. It was just like 3 amateur students going into the woods and just filming with amateur equipment and amateur sound. And it's one of the most successful horror films there's ever been.
Yeah. What about yourself, Michael?
I think Anchorman, that wasn't that big at the start, but kind of mutated big. But now,
it's a classic, that one, isn't it?
And now they've even got like extra.
That's great. I have to stop you there, Michael. Thanks very much for your contribution, guys. Coming up next are all of today's top news stories with Joanna Ramsey. Over to you.
Thank you, Nick. Now for today's top stories. Are dwarfs after your money? A small man was found last night inside a cash machine in the city centre of Glasgow. Fraud artists had damaged and broken into an Alliance and Leicester cash machine between the hours of 2 and 5 in the morning. A small man hid inside and then took the card details and pins of over 110 unsuspecting bankers. The artists were caught when customers reported a bad smell coming from the cash machine, followed by intermittent grunt and sounds of frustration. The culprit admitted to the charges and made a deal to reduce his sentence by ratting out the other members of the gang. All of the suspects will be doing a long and hard 15-year sentence. In other news, the band The Arctic Monkeys are set to fly out to Rancho de la Luna Studios in Joshua Tree, California this month to record an album with Queens of the Stone Age lead singer Josh Homme. Having talked about his great influence in their songwriting, the Sheffield band will do several experimental studio sessions with Home to see if he could possibly produce their third album. Home announced at an interview with NME magazine that they were going to start out by experimenting with a couple of different sounds and a casual scale. In more local news, the infamous street artist Banksy has hit Glasgow with some of his world-renowned guerrilla artwork. Police found this stencil sprayed on two sides of a pillar on Newton House in Glasgow's Sucky Hall Street. This stencil is only one of the many vast artistic stunts Banksy has pulled off over the last few years. Banksy has also illegally put up fake art in places such as the National History Museum in London, the Tate Gallery and the Louvre, doing mock paintings of the Mona Lisa with a yellow smiley face on it instead of the actual face, and an encased stuffed rat with little fake plastic gold jewellery and a gangster outfit with the description reading "Our time will come." Well, that's all from me today. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Joanna. That's all we have time for today. In tomorrow's programme, we'll be taking a look at Kevin Smith's infamous cult movie, Clerks. Until then, from myself and my studio guest this evening, goodbye.